And so we'll go through a full turn just to kind of get the feel. I feel like doing it in the beginning of the game doesn't really show too much. So the first is deciding which Terran forces will jump out. So we have our forces kind of spread out here. These guys back here only have a range of 3. 1, 2, 3. So when the Titan moves, it's not going to be able to really attack back here. We'll keep these ones in here. So we'll mark him to move. Some of them have, you can just flip them over to mark. Like I think the destroyers. Yeah. But I just like to mark them. It's easier for me to process that way. So it's kind of risky to move too many people. Because obviously they can't attack. The attack phase comes before the jump in phase. So if they move, they can't attack. But at the same time, they're not going to be effective. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And really we have 4 turns until the Titan gets off the map. So we kind of want to do some positioning. They need to do a lot of damage, and they have 6 missiles left. The destroyer's up here, and then I think there's a battle cruiser that has some missiles left, and then this guy down here. I'm wondering if he should move also, just to get into position. Yeah, I'm going to move him. Mainly to make better uses of his missiles. So I think we're good with that. We'll move this guy too. Yeah, we'll leave it there. We kind of, we still want some forces in place. Yeah. I'll leave it like that. Next phase is to draw the Titan card. And it's going to move move straight, and then after this turn we'll reshuffle at the end of the victory phase. So he's going to move straight 2. If it moves onto a space containing another marker, they roll a die, and on a roll of a 6 they jump out to another space. Otherwise they're destroyed. Same with, I think it's a little bit different because there's space stations and then there's bases. This is Moonbase Alpha, one of my favorites. Also another game just released by Chris Taylor and Victory Point Games. And I did want to, there's a Forlorn Hope right there. I got that for Christmas. So the Titan moved. Now it's the Terran attack. When the Terrans attack, they have their attack, and then every other unit within range can attack. I don't know if I mentioned that before. I probably did. So right here we have just these guys in range. So we can do, there's a 3 here. So I'll probably add that to that, add this to this, and there's a 4. So I'll have 3 4 attacks. So the attack is the attack plus a die roll against the shields. The drive is obviously 7 here. This weapon is an 8, 9, 10. So that's kind of a crucial decision. Do you want to go for the easy kill to try to make the Titan a sitting target, or do you want to take out some weapons? With these 3, I think I'm gonna just 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I'll just attack the drives. We want him kind of a sitting duck. Since they're all 4 attacks, I'll just roll 3 dice, and they all hit. So 1, 2, 3, and that's it for the attack phase. and now the Titan gets to attack. And it attacks in this order. There are no missiles. I like to mark. So it has 8 attacks. Well, it's going to attack that destroyer. Needs a 5 to hit. Rolls a 2. Nope. So then it goes to a fighter. There aren't any fighters within range. It'll go to a cruiser. Needs a 5 to hit it. And rolls a 4. No fighters. And then if it gets to the bottom and there's no stop sign, it just starts over. So I'll continue this and come back. Another particularly bloody round for the Terrans. Having 8 attacks with the defensive laser is really brutal, especially with no stop sign. It just pounded. And then the spinal mount, which is a 6 attack weapon, it gets its range from the card, which for this was a 6, so it was able to shoot a guy's way out here and did some damage. So I think it took out 5 ships. Pretty gnarly. We are on the missile phase. No one with missiles is in, so we'll skip that. And now we'll do the jump in. When ships move, they don't move through space. They jump out and then jump in. So there's not, and it's space, so there's not going to be any terrain effects or anything like that, obviously. But they don't pass through the X's. But when they do move, they have to move at least half their movement. So this one is a movement of 4. We'll just move the whole 2, 3. 2, 3. And I'll continue moving. And come back. It's really going to be more or less the end of the turn, but I'll come back and talk. And that's it for movement. One of the gamey things about this is the ogres, I do that in my head too. The Titan's always going to move this way, so if you get some forces behind it, you're pretty sure that they're not going to be hit by movement. And then I always kind of try to leave some movement allowance in there. If it just moves straight, that's going to take this guy out most likely. But I guess actually he does have the opportunity to move next turn. So yeah, that's the end of the turn. Because of this, I'll reshuffle these back into the deck and we'll start a new turn. Alright, no one's jumping out. I drew a card, and this is actually one of the 2 movement patterns I was hoping for. So with this, it will move up 1 and then over until its movement runs out. So it'll move up and then over, which kind of puts these guys all in pretty good position to attack. These guys can hang out here for this turn. They weren't moving anyway, and then can jump out next turn if they're still there. So we'll do an attack again. Oh, I didn't heal it 1. Actually, I don't think I'm gonna keep playing through. I'll probably finish the game out and then I'll come back to talk about it. A couple more turns. I just started this turn actually, but after the Titan moved, I realized there's too much left. They would have to destroy the rest of his systems this turn, and it's just not going to happen. They don't have enough attacks left. So that's it. So he's going to get off the board and go wreak havoc among the galaxy. So that's it. This was a pretty tough scenario. This is the first one I've played with this Titan. There are this is the easiest one. So like things are a little bit easier to hit. It also has fewer attacks in each, fewer drive systems. Even just looking at the drives, it's a lot tougher to slow down. Up here with the defensive laser, this one starts with 8. This intro one starts with 6. So pretty tough scenario. You can kind of gimp the Titan by starting its movement off less. It might be important to do it on this one because that's pretty brutal. But so yeah, that's the game. This is one of my favorite solitaire games. You can play it in about 30 minutes. It feels fun. You never really know what the Titan's going to do. Even within the bounds of the cards, you kind of have some idea. But just the way everything interacts, I really enjoy it. It's also fairly cheap, I think still. Hopefully they'll be doing their deluxe treatment for it pretty soon and get some of the newer counters. Like I said before, I don't mind these components at all. I just like the look of the new stuff they're doing. So yeah, that's Astra Titanus, Victory Point Games, and Chris Taylor. Like I said, really good, very solid. If you see it and you're into this kind of game, I would definitely say pick it up.